Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it like a smack addict. And as you can tell today by that thumbnail, we're being graced by the presence of one Mr. Boxer de San Fran, a long-standing NF member who plays an intricate part into the historia of the organization and has done it. You know, without enough being said, man, his name was ringing bells. His name's out there. Everybody knows who he is. Shout out to his channel, Paradigm Media News. If you haven't tapped in, go tap into it. But Boxer doesn't do many of these one-on-one interviews, so we're graced with his presence, viewers, and it's a privilege. Anyways, what's happening, Boxer?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, just trying to live, bro. So, I wanted to elaborate and touch on something that I read in your book. For those of you that haven't tapped in with it, it's Nuestra Familia, a paradigm, a broken paradigm. It's a very good book. I've read it extensively. I wanted to talk about the Corcoran shoe wars because not a lot gets spoken upon that, bro. So you being there at the time in the shoe in Corcoran, what did you see, bro, while you were there? I know you were involved heavily into it.
Yeah. Well, I spoke on it before. In on another platform that I was doing when I first started coming on to YouTube. With loaded news media, bro. But I mean, as far as the shoe wars over there, man. I think the first time I went through there was in late 1992, 1993, bro. And basically at that time it was what it was. It was called Gladiator School, bro. Everybody knew, at least all the homies knew that were in San Quentin that it was on in Corcoran, bro. Everybody that was going to Corcoran knew that it was a war zone, bro. If you were going to Corcoran, you knew that you were gonna have to get off once you got over there. But the thing I could say about it, man, that a lot of people would probably want to know is, it just depended on what building or where they put you at once you got there, bro. You could end up in a building where there was maybe another homeboy, or there wasn't no homies over there, and it was all opposition, bro. And I mean, we already knew we were gonna have to go out there and get off. So the way that it worked, man, is they run yard. Once you got cleared from classification to go out to the yard, they come up to your yard to your door. You have to have your light on. You strip out. You go down to the pod door. If they let the Southsiders out or the Woods, any of the opposition that we were getting off with, sometimes they would go out there first. It just depended, bro. But you would go out there, and a lot of times we go out barefoot because they used to give you these fucking jack flaps, bro. You ever wore them?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, those jack flaps. I mean, they're more of a liability than anything, bro. You slip and slide in them motherfuckers, man. So a lot of times we used to just go out barefoot. But yeah, man. You would go out sometimes. It just depended. Like I said, where they housed you at, man. Sometimes you would be by yourself, and that's when you either were loyal because you were really feeling the cause, bro. It was really in you. You were a real one, or because a lot of times dudes used to go over there and they just lock it up because there was no homies in the pod, and they would think that nobody knew about it. You know what I mean? But oh, yeah, man. I'll say this about Corkin, though, man. It tested the best of us, man, because a lot of dudes, they would go over there, they would go out maybe once or twice, and then that would be it, bro. They would never go back out. You know what I mean? Because it takes a certain type of individual to go out to a yard, sometimes where you're outnumbered, you don't know what to expect, and then you go out there and, you're getting off constantly, bro. And every time you go out there, you're taking a chance of getting your brains blown out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. From what I hear, man, and what I've read up on it, them placas, they were quick to let them bullets fly, and you were telling me something earlier when we discussed it off tape, man, about kind of the rules and regulations the homeboys had. I already know that you must go out to yard, that's mandatory. But what was it about having your back towards the gunner you were telling me about?
So, like, when we were in Queen, bro, and you gotta remember, I was 22, 23 years old back then, man. But when we were getting ready to leave, a lot of us knew that we were going to the shoe. The homies over there were telling us, when you go out and you get off, man, one of the policies that we had was, if you go out, you always try to slide up on the other side of the opposition so that they have their back to the gunner So you be getting off, you can see, you can watch the gunner at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically, yeah, basically safety and security measures. So
Yeah. So you go out there and you do your thing, bro. And another policy that we had is we never get down before they start shooting, bro. They'd always have to. You you make them shoot that block gun at least 2 or 3 times, and then they rack that real gun, bro. And you never get down until the opposition gets down.
yeah, that's something Northerners and NF's been doing for years, man. I myself and Y, that was one of our policies. We never said we were done. We were done when they were done. Um,
Yeah.
so how was the makeup in there as far as like alliances, man? I know were you guys going at it with everybody, or was there a loose alliance with the Africanos, or how was that?
Nah, well, we had an alliance, bro, with the blacks, with BGF and 415, and they were part of the war. They were going out there, they were getting off, and the Sureños were allied up with the whites, Nazi lowriders, ABs. But the thing about it, man, is we always had a strong alliance with the blacks. That went all the way back to the 70s, bro. But the thing about it was in the middle of the war, and I got nothing but love for Jama, for 415, for the Africanos. I've always been one to push that alliance, but for whatever reason, their leadership in the middle of that war, they took a seat, bro. They too many people were getting killed over there. Too many people were getting shot, and their mindset was, you know what? It's not worth getting killed over a concrete yard. We're not gonna keep going out there doing this shit. But these were our allies, man. So it kind of it had an effect on our alliance, bro. It was never the same after that.
Yeah, definitely. And so what was the whole reasoning behind these placas doing it? Was it a betting situation? Was it a form of entertainment, or was it all of the above, bro?
Man, I think it was all the above, bro. You know what I mean? They knew what they were doing. I mean, you're pitting opposition against opposition. We're all validated gang members. We're all going out there. They know they knew what was going to happen. And the blockers that would escort us out to the yards, a lot of times they be betting on us, bro. Hey, you guys are going to go out with Contreras and Martinez. They're already out there. You guys better win, man. You know what I mean? We got our money on you guys, or so they were actually placing bets, bro, and they tell you that shit.
Yeah.
The other thing they were doing is if you had hands, bro, see, like one building, an officer would take their best fighter, they'd actually escort them over to the next building, and they'd fight against their best fighter, bro. So that's the type of shit they were doing.
Yeah, that's a trip, man. That's like best of the best type shit. That's some Kumite shit, blood sport, and that's literally
Yes,
what it
sir.
was. So, I just did a spill. I just did a spill yesterday, about one M member, man, a very prestigious and righteous M member that got a lot of respect. One Mariano Chuy Martinez from VNE.
Yes, sir.
I know you in your book you mentioned him. What kind of individual he was, having dealings with them?
I mean, obviously he was in opposition at that time, bro. But everything I knew about Chewy, man, he was a stand up type of dude. He was going out, he was getting his money, bro, just like everybody else. I never spoke to him personally, but I remember seeing him, and like I said, he was a stand up type of dude. You know.
Yeah, that's all I've ever heard. I actually did a spill about him and Mike Eo. The definition of real gangsters. Um, so let's move on from that, bro, because that is what it is. Like I said, it's history, and it's something that no one can take from you. Not a lot of people can do that. Turn that light on over
Hey,
and over again.
hey, I'll say this in wrapping that part up about it, though, Gunners. Corcoran broke a lot of motherfuckers, bro. I seen some of the best get broke over there, man. Sometimes dudes will go out there 2 or 3 times, and then they just be like, "Fuck that," And the way that you would be able to tell if cats were gonna continue to program over there would be if they turned their lights on. That was a requirement. If you
Yeah,
wanted to go to yard, you had to have your light on. A lot of times you see people's lights get turned off as soon as they mention yard. Um, the
yeah,
other thing I was gonna say is, at one point they even started making they started making us pay for the bullets that they were shooting us with. the block gun, the Mini 14.
Yeah.
I started to have to tell my people to stop sending money, bro, because I was getting charged with that shit. But the way that you used to do it, go out, get off, plead guilty on your 115. That way you go out to the next yard. Otherwise, it would hold you up and you wouldn't make it out to the next yard. So, um,
Yeah.
the way that me and my celly were we were at the end of the building, bro, and like when they used to run yard, they would always start at the end of that building right there. So a lot of times the homies wouldn't even get to make it out there. We go out, we get off, and it'd be over, bro.
Yeah. That was a cold luck of the draw. Just your placement right there. And being
Yes,
young,
sir.
being with it, striving. I mean, I know at one point, man, like I read in your book. I mean, it was just a daily thing for you. It was part of your routine.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it takes a certain type of individual to get up and go out there and be able to do that day in and day out. It's not for everybody, bro. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, most definitely. So let's move on from there, bro. You get out. Anyone that wants to read into your book, man, they'll read into your book and they'll find out all the details of where the twists and turns your life took you. But let's get to this. You writing a book, bro. Let's get to how you wrote a book, why you wrote a book. Was it for did you write this book, bro, basically to as a therapy to yourself, or basically to put your life story out there so that way you can deter others from maybe making them same mistakes?
Nah, man. I mean, to be honest with you, bro, those people that are familiar with my story and what happened in my situation, it wasn't about monetary gain or anything like that, bro. What it all came down to, man, is I wanted people to understand why I made the choices that I did. You know, they're not popular choices. I understand that they weren't popular with me, bro. They're still not. But I felt like a hypocrite because of, you got to understand, I spent more than half my life in prison. A lot of homies knew me, bro. I indoctrinated a lot of homeboys. I was the one that would be out there advocating to these dudes on the yard when I would be out there with them. Man, never count yourselves amongst that trash, those degenerates that get weak and turn their backs on us. And, that's the way the cookie crumbled, bro. Everything that I had ever advocated against, I had become, bro. So that's what it was for me. That's what it was about for me. Whether or not it changed people's perspective about me and what I did, it's not really important, man. You know what I mean? Because I know that 90% of people that would have been in the situation that I was in would have done the same thing, but they would have just did it sooner, bro. So that's what it was about. It wasn't about monetary gain or nothing else, man.
Exactly, and it's a good story you told, and it's a righteous story and it's a true story. It's totally facts. Like I said, man, I heard your name. We never had the privilege of meeting, but I know your name was ringing bells out there, and I was hearing it as far as to the valley. So this YouTube thing, man, you find yourself doing YouTube. You've been doing it now for say 4 or 5 years. What got you into it, man? Because I know that I sat back and yours was the first channel that actually where a spark flamed in my head, man, and it lit a match, and I was like, man, maybe I could do something like this. But Paradigm Media News, man, what made you start that?
Honestly, bro, when I first got out, I went on YouTube. I started pulling up other people that had platforms, started dropping comments. A couple people started responding to my comments that had platforms. One in particular was an ex Mexican mafia member, bro, and he reached out. You could tell by the way that I was articulating myself. That's what he told me. He was like, I could tell you were somebody or you'd been somewhere, so that's why he responded to me, bro. We ended up connecting. We put a channel together, Loaded Media News. That's when I first started doing it. Then I branched out by myself, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And so now, man, what we have are these YouTube boxing matches, these celebrity boxing matches, whatever we want to call them. And you find yourself, yeah, you find yourself in the mix. I myself fought one for the unity of the raza, and I like to think, man, that it basically opens some doors. But that's just my thinking. Everyone has their own opinion. I like to say Now you find yourself in the mix. You find yourself in the mix. One day you're being called out by this guy. Next day you're letting this guy know. Anybody can get it. How do you find yourself wanting to get involved in these type of things, bro?
I mean, to be honest, bro, for me, it's not about monetary gain. It's not about nothing other than wanting to get in the ring and bash somebody's brains out, bro. That's all it is, man. To let the viewers, to put on the show for the viewers, entertainment, bro. That's all it is. I've had a channel for 5 years now. Your event inspired me to want to get out there and do it myself. So that's all it really is, bro. And as far as the different opponents, it comes down to what the people want to see. That's what it comes down to. Rojo, I understand it's a possibility because of his health, and his health comes before anything. Your health is more important than anything. But besides Savage Studios, and we all know what happened with that, it seemed like Rojo's name was the next best thing out there, bro.
Most definitely, man. And I just wanted the viewer to know that at no time was anybody slighted whose name was mentioned. It's just facts are facts, analytics are analytics, and at the end of the day, man, it's for the people by the people. The people want to see Boxer and Rojo. And that's what we're trying to push for. We'd love to, like you said, bash Savage's brains in, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you have to show up to make that possible, and we all know how that goes. We just left him standing alone in a world so cold. Anyways, let's move on from that guy, and I wanted to talk about what's been going on in YouTube right now, man. There's a big thing going on as far as everyone's talking about it, and I kind of wanted to elaborate with you, get your opinion on it. About Mr. Tibbs, one Tibbs Morado. Uh, from Hanford, got his crimes out of San Jose, so a lot of people said he was from San Jose, but he was originally from Hanford. Um,
Right.
so Tibbs, recently passing away a couple days ago and being hit over there in the feds by Cuete, man. What's your perspective on all that?
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people that have been following that situation know that was a lot of people were thinking that it was personal between Cuete and Tibbs. That's some bullshit, man. That was part of Cuete's cleanup, and he's always going to own cleanup for what he did. But what I think about it is, for those that don't know, Tibbs was set up with DC for a long time, bro. So those two got a lot of history together, and I think what happened was Tibbs being up there with them in the feds. I think he was a little bit too forthright with his opinion about how he felt about things. With the end of hostilities in particular, I think he spoke on it. I don't think it was something that they embraced. He started letting his opinion be known, and somebody like that lurking in the shadows that has as much influence as Tibbs, because he's not a threat, man. He's 70 something years old. You know what I mean? Dude can barely walk. But when you got somebody like that that's a former general, he has a lot of influence just because of who he is and who he was, bro. So I think for them it was more about sending a message than it was removing a threat. You know what I mean? And Tibbs, if I remember, he was in Springfield when he passed away the other day, and that's a medical facility in federal prison. So I think that he already had medical issues, but I think this situation that happened, it probably just sped it up, man. This is all this dude has known for 30, 40 something years. He was a true believer in this shit, man. A lot of people had a lot of respect for him, including myself. So when something like that happens, man, and something like this organization that he belonged to and that he's no longer a part of it, I think he just gave up, bro. That's my opinion, though.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's pretty much like when you've been with your wife or your husband for so many years, and then you go shortly after. He was married.
Right,
He was
right.
married to the organization. It was kind of like
Yes, sir.
losing his spouse. And I've been in the situation. With my former organization, and you've also been in the situation with that particular organization, the NF, when you had to stray away or go away, and it's a hard pill to swallow.
Oh, hell yeah, man. It's tough, bro. You know what I mean?
You
I
know.
mean, I'm sure you probably feel the same way. I'm not gonna really speak on it too much, but I'm always gonna believe in the cause, bro. In the way that the cause was originally written, bro.
Right.
Not the cause what it's become, but the cause, the way that it was, I mean, it's always it was always a righteous cause, man. You know, it deviated over the years and it changed into something else. But yeah, it's rough, man, when you're a true believer and you sacrificed 10, 15, 20, 25 years of your life. Um, it's rough, man, when you know, you fall into bad standings and you got to walk away from that, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I hear you there. It's like I said. At the end of the day, it's only you yourself in that mirror, and sometimes when you first do that, it's hard to look at yourself in the mirror. But eventually, over time, man, you get to understanding that that was the righteous move. That in itself was the righteous move. You know, um, and
Yes, sir.
and those that don't know, eventually they'll find out. Everybody does. So I wanted to talk about the situation with doing time with a lot of these historic guys like Corny, Tibbs, Skip, Pinky, DC. I mean, to see these guys still doing it, what goes through your mind? In their old age, man. Is it because this is all they know, or is it something that they're true believers and can't stop, won't stop philosophy, or what do you think, man? Sitting back and looking at it, like, let it go already, or it is what it is, you know?
No, man. I mean, I can't do nothing when I look at cats like Skip, Pinky. Regardless of what people say about that lifestyle being what it is, man. A lot of people don't respect it for what it is, but I gotta give them nothing but props, man, for being true to their beliefs, man. You know, Skip is a prime example of somebody that could have got out twice. He got hit with two 14-year sentences, Operation Black Widow, and then before that in 1992 in those indictments. And you know, now he's looking at spending the rest of his life in federal prison. This is something that they signed up for. They've been true believers. So I on one hand I respect them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man. Corny's another one. You know what I mean? So I got nothing bad to say about him. It is what it is, man.
Absolutely. So I wanted to touch on one last thing. This end to hostilities. It's something, and I read your chapter, man. What was it? The blood, something blood, right? Where you guys were going at it. You kicked it off in the chow hall and all that. And this end of
Oh yeah.
hostilities, yeah, this end of hostility, man. That was that chapter right there really touched me because I've been in some of those melees like that where you just have to get off or you're mad at. So this end of hostilities, man, with this north and south, I see it as a positive thing. How do you see it, man?
I see it as a positive thing, man. I never thought I'd ever live to see the day that it would happen. And you know, I've always been one of, you know, there's been a lot of blood that's been spilled on both sides. I just never thought it would be possible. And if those guys hadn't, if Operation Black Widow wouldn't have happened, I don't think it would have been possible because, you know, the feds are looking at it as these guys in state prison that they're committing treason. You know what I mean? But looking at it from a different lens, a different perspective, I think it's a good thing, man. Anytime we stop killing each other as raza, you know what I mean, and we're able to come together for a common goal, man. It's a positive thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. You know what I mean? A lot of these youngsters that were involved in this war don't even know what the fuck they're fighting for, man. You know what I mean? So there's nothing but positive that can come out of it, man. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. However we got there, man, we got there, and that's all that matters. Like I said, it's not about the road that it takes to get there. It's about that end goal. You know. Um,
Exactly.
so, man, with that being said, man, I appreciate your time, brother. Man, I appreciate you going out of the box and granting me this interview. I know you don't do it much. I know you have another book coming up, man. Another book you're in the mix with, man. Can you kind of elaborate on that for the people? Kind of give them a sneak peek of what they got coming.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be called Nuestra Familia, Life After the Familia subtitle. It's gonna have the same look, same cover, with just a different subtitle. And it's gonna pick up from the county jail, what has happened since then, everything that has happened. It's gonna be a banger, man. Gonna try to make it like the first book. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time to put into writing a book like this, man. It took me 5 years to write the first one. Between YouTube and some of the other stuff that I do, it's time consuming, man. So I'm like 3/4, 3/4 way done right now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get it done by the end of the year, but man, we'll see if it's possible, bro. You know, the other book, it was me, a thesaurus, and a dictionary. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work putting into a book like this, man. What people don't know, it's not just about sitting down writing a manuscript and then publishing it. There's a lot of work that goes into it, man. So hopefully it'll come out by the end of the year. We'll see.
Most definitely. I know we're all waiting on that. So with that being said, man, again, I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope that the raza moves fast with a purpose. That's called hustling at the end of the day, just like Boxer said, and I myself say, man, it's nothing but love for the raza and unity, man. Unity is always a good thing. So let's post that united front, man, and keep doing what we do. At the end of the day, that's all we have is each other. So with that being said, gracias, Boxer. I appreciate you for your time, brother.
Gracias a ti. I'll see you in November, boy.
Oh, we're going to be right there. It's going to be lovely.
All right, man.
All right. Gracias.